I never truly believed she'd go through with leaving. Not all the way. She'd hinted before. Subtle warnings tucked into the edges of her voice. Lingering glances that drifted toward nowhere. Lips parted as if to say something, but choosing silence instead. And still, I clung to the belief that what we had was enough. That the love we built, the quiet memories, the shared life, it would be enough to keep her grounded. I was wrong. She left on a gray Tuesday, the sky weeping steadily as if it, too, was morning. I stood at the window, unmoving, watching rain slip down the glass like tears the sky couldn't hold back. She wheeled her suitcase out behind her, its dull rattle sounding like punctuation to a chapter ending mid-sentence. She never looked back, and I didn't call out to stop her. I couldn't. My throat felt like it had collapsed in on itself. My entire being ached. But I stood still, hollow and stunned, as though something essential had been ripped away the moment that door clicked shut. I didn't scream, didn't chase. I didn't even move for a long while. I just let the silence consume me. The days after were a blur of shadows and routines that didn't make sense anymore. I'd wake up reaching for her warmth only to find cold sheets. My hand would instinctively go to brew 2 cups of coffee, even though no one else was there to drink the second. The silence in the house was no longer peaceful. It pressed against the walls like a fog that wouldn't lift. Every creak in the floorboard sounded like the echo of someone missing. Eventually, I began to accept it. She was gone, and she had chosen to be. So I did the only thing left. I kept going. Not with confidence, not with clarity, but with quiet intention. I deleted our photos, not out of spite, but survival. Her books were packed into a box and tucked away into a dark corner of the closet. I stopped saying her name out loud, stopped imagining her return. Instead, I started whispering truths to myself over and over. She's not coming back. She made her choice. You will survive this. And piece by piece, I did. I went back to old hobbies, things I'd shelved when loving her took up all my space. I picked up books again. I ran in the mornings with music in my ears, chasing clarity with each mile. I even saw a therapist, not because I was falling apart, but because I wanted to understand why I had let myself disappear trying to hold on to someone who was already slipping away. In those long, quiet conversations, I found myself again, the man I was before her, the one who laughed freely, who dreamed without waiting for permission, the one who didn't make himself smaller to keep someone else comfortable. 3 months passed, then 4, then 6, and then, just when I stopped expecting it, her message came. Can we meet? 3 words. Simple, but sharp. They knocked the breath out of me. I stared at the screen, not because I didn't know what to say, but because I'd spent months training myself not to feel exactly what they stirred up. I didn't respond immediately. I needed time to think, to remember, to protect the life I had slowly begun to build again. When I finally replied, I kept it short. What do you want to talk about? Her answer came fast. Something meaningful. That night, she showed up. Same coat, same perfume, same soft features, but different somehow. Her eyes held exhaustion. Not the kind that comes from a long day, but the kind that comes from carrying guilt too long. She looked like someone who had finally admitted the lie she'd been living to herself. We didn't hug, didn't smile. We sat across from each other on the same couch we used to sprawl across on Sunday mornings, wrapped in each other's limbs and slow laughter. But this was not that. This was a reckoning. I thought leaving would set me free, she said quietly. I told myself I needed space. But really, I was just chasing something I couldn't even define. And there was nothing better out there. I stayed silent, letting her speak. I missed you, she said. But more than that, I missed the person I was when I was with you. I didn't see it until I walked away. The problem wasn't you. It was that I stopped showing up. I gave up before I even admitted it to myself. I looked at her, and for the first time, I didn't feel anger, just a soft, aching sorrow. Not for me, for her. I had already crossed that emotional bridge. She was only now stepping up to its edge. She reached out, voice trembling. If there's even a sliver of you that still wants this. I stopped her gently. There's always a sliver. I said honestly, but I've grown beyond it. Her eyes brimmed. I could see the truth sinking in, that she had come back too late, that what we were couldn't be pieced back together, not because I hated her, but because I had learned how to live without her. "I'm glad you came," I said, standing. I needed this conversation, too, but I'm not the man who used to wait by the phone anymore. She nodded slowly, the weight of that truth settling into her. "I understand," she whispered. "I just needed to know you were okay." "I am," I said. "I finally am." She smiled, faint and trembling, and walked toward the door. This time, she turned back. Our eyes met for a breath longer than necessary. But I didn't move. My heart didn't race. Because I had healed. Some people leave to find themselves. Others leave and discover what they've lost. But the real story isn't always about who comes back. It's about who you become after they're gone.